100 of those houses. So then we were going to have a vigil for the 150 people that freeze to death every year in San Francisco. And I called the media and they said they wouldn't take calls from us because that would be aiding and abetting in a felony. So we had a friend named Stephen Dunnifer that could make FM radio transmitters, and you didn't need a permit for under 100 watts. So we made Free Radio Berkeley and San Francisco Liberation Radio. So I went up on top of Twin Peaks with my friends, and we're broadcasting. And that morning we'd received an email from this group called the Zapatistas, the EZLN. And they said, we want you to read about why we're having an uprising in Chiapas, Mexico against the North American Free Trade Agreement. I'm like, well, that sounds like a good thing to read about. So we're up there reading about the Zapatistas and the uprising. And we start noticing a lot of cops are parking behind the car, the van. So we pull the antenna reel in fast. We take out the bottle of wine and some hummus and some crackers and put it on the table. Cops look in. We're going, oh, Happy New Year's. We're just like celebrating, no problem here. And they go, oh, okay, whatever. And they drive away. And then we put the antenna back out. And we start reading about the Zapatistas. Then the next day, I'm down in front of City Hall with everybody serving food. And we have this big sign that says, Viva Zapatista, no NAFTA. And this guy comes out of City Hall and he starts screaming at us that we're not allowed to feed anybody in 1994. What do we think we're doing? And he had a cell phone, which was new at the time, and he called a tow truck miraculously that came and towed our truck away from a parking meter right in front of where we're serving food. So I go into City Hall to a payphone, because I didn't have a cell phone, and I call up a tow lady, and the guy starts smashing me against the wall. So I say, I'm sorry, tow lady, a guy smashed me against the wall here. I'll call from another phone. So I go upstairs, and I finish my phone call, and there's these nice businessmen at the first floor of City Hall, and they're like, oh, we'd like to talk to you, Keith, how's it going? And I come up, oh yeah, we have this little book here, and it says that you're arrested for assault, battery, strong arm robbery, and that's a strike under the new California 3 strikes law. So I get arrested and taken away, and my bail is only $10,000, so it only takes like a week or so to get out. And by now, we're like writing letters to Amnesty International, the United Nations Human Rights Commission, the U.S. Justice Department, Human Rights, Civil Rights Division, trying to get help because we're also being beaten every day for serving food now. In fact, we have a video called Funabomb's Greatest Hits, where it shows the cops beating us up for serving salad and stuff like that. And so we, I go through City Hall and I'm handing out the letter from Amnesty, and this woman is so angry, she slams her door on me and my friend, and the glass breaks out and cuts my hand. So I go to my truck, and I get arrested for assault with a deadly weapon and possession of stolen property, which was 24 Berkeley Farms dairy milk crates that we borrowed to use as our tables from this vegetarian restaurant near City Hall. So now I'm facing 25 to life, and my bail is $250,000. Oh, wow. So finally we get it down to $75,000, and I get out after a while, and my first day of my trial is the same day as the first day of the first O.J. Simpson trial. So I'm in a plexiglass box for the safety of the community, and they got riot police ringing the inside of the courtroom, and the judge is like, oh, this is not a good day for a trial. Why don't we move it to October 31st? Wow. So we show up to the courthouse, and there's like bowls of candy in all the chambers of in the courthouse and on all the desks and everything. So we help ourselves to the trick-or-treat candy. We go out in front of the courthouse, hand it out, and we get arrested. The judge says, oh, it's not a very good day for a trial. Why don't we get another short date? And the clerk chooses February 14th. So we come back, and now there's Valentine's candy in all these bowls. So we take that, we go to the front of the courthouse, and they arrest us. And that judge says, oh, this is not a good day for a trial. So he sends us to another courtroom the next day, Judge Lucy McCabe. And she's like, as people were certain would be the case, she was already drunk at 9 o'clock. And she's like, I don't know why they're bothering a good Irish boy like you. That's just terrible, man. The lawyers are a bunch of crooks. You know, you can't trust the system. And she said, why don't we do this? We'll drop all 47 felony conspiracy to serve food charges. We'll get rid of all your 3 strike charges. We'll make up some felonies so the mayor can go to cocktail parties and say McHenry's a convicted felon. And you can write your own probation. So I wrote my probation, so I wasn't allowed to kill anybody or bomb any buildings for 12 months. And so then I've been on tour ever since. I thought it was not safe to stay in San Francisco. I've been going around doing this like this all over the world. And shortly after that, we did have a Food Not Bombs gathering before I left in San Francisco on the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And by that time we were getting arrested and beaten every day, twice a day at UM Plaza, and they of course couldn't have us there when they're going to celebrate human rights. So they stepped up their clampdown. And so we rented a convergence space. We got some computers that were donated, and we started this thing called Indie Media. And we had workshops on organic gardening, on how to make FM radio transmitters, how to convert your vehicle to run on vegetable oil, stuff like that. 600 people signed up. There were over 600 arrests. There was probably over 1,000 people actually came. We had all these events for 10 days. And people met each other from all over the world, got to be in jail together from all over the world. It was an amazing experience, and they went to the rest of the world to start new Food Not Bombs chapters. So not long after that, we meet some anti-globalization activists from Europe, and we decided to do a tour called the Unfree Trade Tour. And we advocated, we went to 60 cities in the US and Canada, and we said if the World Trade Organization ever came to North America, we should go and shut it down. And we had information and a video about the dangers of these free trade agreements in the WTO. So it was announced it would be in Seattle in November of '99. And everybody that signed up on our contact list, we called them, and people rushed to Seattle, and we shut it down. And that was the start of the anti-globalization movement in the United States. And then I got an email from a woman in Australia. She wanted to interview me about Food Not Bombs. She had been making a documentary about Earth First and Aboriginal people trying to stop a gold mine on sacred land in the outback in Australia. And she was amazed that we provided food at this protest for 2 years. So she, I said, well, that's crazy to interview me just by flying all the way over here. You should visit Food Not Bombs people. So we went all over the United States and Canada, interviewing people that ate at Food Not Bombs and interviewing activists and filming food collection and so on. And at one point we found out that the Food Not Bombs book got translated into Italian, and we were invited to go to Europe on a book tour, and she won an award in Spain for Best Environmental Documentary. So the first city we went to was Zagreb, Croatia. And it turned out Zagreb Food Not Bombs had served 1,000 meals outside the U.S. Embassy in protest of the U.S. invasion of Iraq. And they're like, why are you visiting just Zagreb Food Not Bombs? We have 6 chapters in Croatia. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know there's 6 cities in Croatia, let alone 6 chapters. That's amazing. So we all got together on Anti-McDonald's Day, October 16th, and we served food outside the McDonald's. They made these balloons, black balloons with yellow arches that said "Eat shit" in Croatian on them. All the kids coming by. And another animal rights group came. They bought a severed head from a slaughterhouse and had it on a silver tray and brought it to give to all the people eating at us. Awesome. That was hardcore. And they were like, well, I don't know why you should visit the kids in Serbia. They actually did Food Not Bombs during a war. So we went over to Belgrade, and we cooked in this mansion that was abandoned by its owners because a cruise missile had gone through the roof and had gone down into the basement. Unfortunately, it didn't blow up, so most of the house was still there, but still had this huge hole. So when we're cooking and everything, I go, oh man, where do you go to the bathroom in this place? And they say, oh, just go over to the crater. That's where we go. And so we made all this food. We went to the Belgrade McDonald's. The police came and they're like, wow, this is the coolest thing, man. You're feeding people. It was like really fun. And they said, well, you know, we're not that poor here in Serbia. You should go to Romania. So we went over there, and boy, there was a lot of poverty in Romania at that time, probably still now. We went to Budapest, where Occupy Budapest is happening. They're doing like all this cool, I've been getting emails from Occupy Budapest and Food Not Bombs there. They also watered all the trees on the boulevards in Budapest because there was a drought and the city didn't have money to water the trees. So they would fill buckets up with water and water all the oak trees. And then we went to the Netherlands. 12 cities had Food Not Bombs in the Netherlands. and they had just come back from visiting the Polish Food Not Bombs chapters, and they'd made this cool documentary about going to the different cities, and they were surprised at how many hundreds of people waited for the meals in Poland. And then we went to Ireland, and in Ireland there were 6 cities had Food Not Bombs. We all got together at Shannon Air Base at a protest to blockade U.S. flights